Hello guys, hello. This is Daryl with Lee's Lawn Care and Services. How y'all doing, man? On this Thursday, this kind of misty, gloomy looking Thursday, but hey, I'm still going out and working. I just picked up the gear and I'm heading out, and I gotta do something. I don't have too many options because one of the people that I have to do, they pay for the whole month, so I gotta go over there. And then the other few people around his area called me, so I got to go there. And we still cutting down here in NOLA, man. I mean, we're not, the grass is not high, but it gets raggedy looking, and they don't like that. So they want that cleaned up. So, you know, I'm your huckleberry, as they say. I'm going over there to clean it up. You know, make me a few bucks in the process and continue to do that. But what I want to talk to you guys about is you guys still picking up business during this time of the year? It's supposed to be the slow time, right? Well, you know, when God shine on you, he shine on you, and it don't matter what's happening. And so I gotta go. That's a big old bump. I gotta go. I gotta fill out a W-9 for the storage facility that I store my stuff with, and I may be picking that facility up. You know, go figure that. What they did, they moved me out of the storage facility that I was in, a smaller unit, and they gave me a great, grand, big old industrial freaking unit where I can stick 2 cars in that thing if I want to. It's so big, you know. It's a huge facility, you know, that they gave me, and they only charged me like $40 more for that. So, and that's what the price is. So what they want me to do is maintain the facility. The guy that they have, the manager's not satisfied with his work. She's been telling him, you know, about the things, how she would like certain things to be for over a year. He's still doing it the way he wants to do it. And so I think they're about to pull the trigger on him. So, I mean, that's cool. I didn't expect this to go this way, honestly, because I did some work for him, some side work. I trimmed a huge bush. I had to get a pole saw, and I cut that sucker down I ain't cut it down to nothing. I just trimmed it. Took the top off, cut the sides off, brought it down below the windows, so that way it could be where they could see out the windows, because they couldn't see. And so I did that, and I cleaned all of it up and threw all of it in a dumpster. I raked everything up and put it all in a dumpster. So that was a job that I did for him. And then she wanted a pathway on the side of her building clean. So I went over there and I charged him like 50, 60 bucks, and I took the chainsaw out, just hacked the path through, and then I took the weed eater and cleared the ground, and I blew it, and then I made a straight path through that where they can walk through the sides. You know, if they want to walk on the outside of the facility, they can do that, because I cut a path through there. So they want that happening. So I did those things for them, and then the other day the guy came and he cut, and you know, it came on a Sunday when, you know, he knew that she wouldn't bother him or anything like that because she's off, you know. And he cut and cleaned up the place supposedly, and he left it kind of a mess, man. She was out there when I got over there to get my stuff. She was out there blowing with a little handheld blower, trying to, you know, she going behind him, so to speak. And she wasn't too happy about that. So I came up and I told her, hey, don't worry about that. I said, I'll get that with the big blower. I said, because you blowing with that little thing, you're going to be here all day. And she's like, really? I'm like, yeah, just leave that there. I'll catch that. I'll come around and catch it, because it was on the way out of the facility. So I told her I would do that for her. So I didn't charge anything for it. I took out the big blower. It took me all of 10 minutes, 15, if that, to get that off and out. And so I did that, and then I took pictures of it and I showed it to her. And she was like, nah. She's like, you know what? She said, I shouldn't be cleaning up behind this guy and all these other different things. She said, well, I'm gonna tell the owners, because they're supposed to be there, because they're evaluating their vendors for the year, and they're getting ready to either keep them or get rid of them. So, so he may be losing this particular facility. I don't know about the other ones because he's got all the other ones too in Baton Rouge. And I'm not after them for that. I really wasn't after him for this one, but she's so adamant about it. And I've had this happen to me before with another customer that was adamant about getting rid of her guy. And I started cutting the grass, and I mean, she's like just through the roof, you know. I come through, I guess because I take my time and I'm not rushing. I'm not trying to miss a whole lot, because how when your impression, how you leave the product when you finish is everything. That's your stamp of approval, And so if you try to catch as much of it as you can, as much of the grass as you can, and line it up as best as you can, and do what you can to make it look professional, as professional as you can, then people take notice of that, and they're like, well, wait a minute, what he charges and he does it looks like that. And they had the other two guys, like I said, it was cutting right next door to me, and I had no qualms about them, but Miss Heather was so adamant about it. I'm like, okay, and I wound up getting it, and I got it, and they're just happy. They just through the roof about it. But I don't know how his finished product looked. So I knew how his front looked, and he missed a few things in the front, so I don't know what the back looked like, because I never went and looked in the backyard to see what was going on back there. But he missed a few things in the front, and it's like I guess for me, like, it's just normal routine to edge everything up, weed eat wherever I can weed eat to get the grass going, cut what I can cut and keep it pushing, And sometimes if there's a lot of debris, then you use the bagger. If there's not a lot of debris, then you don't. You just grind it up. And then you can take the blower and you can smooth it out. So she's just happy with me, and I'm cool with that. But I just don't like to see other grass cutters lose their jobs, for the sake of that. And especially not for me, because, I've been in that position where, I got traded out for other people. And then I got called back. And when I got called back, it was for a higher price when I got called back. And typically, if I got called back for a higher price, then I made my mind up in my mind that I didn't stay with those properties that long, because they dropped me. I just felt some type of way about it. They got rid of me before. They got other people. Like one lady had, she must have had about 5 or 6 different people. And I was gone for 5 years. 5 years. And then she finally called me back, and she's like, her husband had died and all, and I was one of the last people her husband had hired to do the yard and all. But when he died, they were so bitter at each other. She just fired me. He died, and there was no more. There was no need for me anymore. So, like I said, she hired about 5 or 6 different people coming through there to cut the grass, and they were half doing it and not doing it properly and all this other stuff. And she got tired of them. She like, this not gonna work. They gotta go. So, and she called me back, and she pays me more, and I haven't dropped her. She's like, I think Miss Gill is damn near, she 80 something years old now. But, she called me back. I've been back this is either the second or third season back with her. She dropped me for 5 years. She called me back. That's saying something, man. I always continued to cut around her. I had yards right next door to her, and I still was there cutting those yards. And, during this whole period of time, and I stuck with them. Miss Teresa and all of them. I've been with them since the beginning, man. It's been since 08, I think. Yeah, 08, 07 or 08, somewhere in there. I've been cutting their grass for that long, and I'm still there. So, and I there's no complaints. Every now and then they may say something about something, and I make sure that I catch that. Whenever a customer come to you and ask you about a certain thing, they give you an opportunity to fix something. And so you fix it. And when you fix it, and they see that you put effort to fix what they were talking about, they appreciate that. They appreciate that. Except for was one guy, he was bitter and fussing, and y'all came out nice. I did a video about him a while a while back. I think it was last year. You know, and he was just fussing and all his other craziness, and dropped him. I told him how I felt, you know, because the yard came out great. You know, it was cut perfectly, lined up, everything, and he still was fussing. And I say, well, sometimes you just can't please everybody. And so I told him, I said, man, I said, go find you another grass cutter, you know. And he went out and he found somebody, and they didn't do what he wanted them to do. He got rid of them, one cut. Then he come calling me back, you know, and he's like, you know, it was a respect thing, because, you know, I'm not controlled by my customers, man. I'm controlled by me. That's one thing we gotta think about. We are a business. We are a service. We provide service to people. If somebody's not, you know, not falling in line with things or not happy with things, then go find somebody else. You know, they got 1,000 of us out here, you know, doing this job. You know, it's like Popeyes, Burger King, McDonald's, Applebee's, whatever. You know, we all do a job out here, and so I look at it, I'm like, okay, we'll find somebody else. You know, I've been in this neighborhood for so long, I'm not going anywhere. You know, that's just the way it was. And got a guy, one cut, and then he come calling me back, and I've been back ever since. And he hadn't complained one bit. I think his wife got on him, because the guy that they had, he wasn't cutting it. You know, I seen his work before, and it's like, it's passable, but it wasn't, you know, it's not, you know, commercial grade, but it was passable. You know, and I knew that wasn't gonna work, because I know his standards. You know, he had high standards, and my standards are pretty high too. You know, because I try to cut everybody the same. You know, like, I cut their yards as if it was my yard, that I would cut it, you know, a certain way, and it's got to be clean, crisp appearance, you know, professional looking, you know, the type of yard that gets you other yards. That's pretty much what it does, you know, and ensures business, you know. It's obviously I'm doing something right. I've been out here for this long. I'm doing something right. Because if I wasn't doing anything right, I'd been out of business. I'll tell you that right now. A long time ago. You know, I wouldn't be able to hold on to the customers that I do have. But I have them for a reason, and I'm thankful for that. And it's got me commercial properties, and I'm thankful for that. And I may be picking up this big storage facility as a strong possibility. Anytime you got to fill out paperwork to be a legitimate vendor for them, because I was doing work for them, but I was popping in, popping out every now and then, like, with stuff, not nothing consistent. And so doing it this way, it'll be consistent. You know, I'll fill out the paperwork, turn it in. You know, we'll see what 2023 holds. You know, I just want 2023 to put me in a position to be better than 2022. That's all I ask for, to be better than the year before, to do something different, to get us, you know, move forward ahead than what we already are. You know, to be better. That's it. Nothing spectacular, just to be better than what you were before. That's not a lot to ask, you know. And then, you know, you got to you get the right clientele, you know, no matter how far you can go, you know. And you know, God does that. He does that for me, and I pray He does that for y'all, man. It's just what He is, man. He's an operator. When we sleeping, God operating. You know, He operating, working on people's minds to get them to do certain things, and that's just it. You know, I go to sleep. I don't think about a lot of stuff. You know, I try not to, because I like to sleep. So if I start thinking about ways to do this and ways to do that, I will never sleep. So I got to put all that stuff out of my mind. All right, guys, I'm gonna catch you on the next one, boy. I got these. I'm doing 70, and these cars flying by me like I ain't doing nothing. The 70 is the speed limit on this particular part of the interstate, but these cars, I mean, they just, I know they ain't in a rush today. They ain't a serious rush, but I ain't in no rush, and it's kind of foggy too, so it's not something I would drive fast in anyway, because you can run right into something, you know, and it ain't gonna be good, you know. All right, guys, love you guys. See you on the next one. Happy holidays to you if I don't get to make another video. Merry Christmas to you guys. you know, and Happy New Year's to you. I'm sure I'll make another one before then, because I know I'm going to do one when I go on a cruise, but that's after the New Year and all. So, all right, guys, love you. Peace out.